I love my boyfriend, but I can't stop cheating. Listen to my story. I have been in a wonderful relationship with my boyfriend for almost 5 years now. I will call him Adam. From the moment we met, I knew there was something special about him. Adam is caring, funny, and intelligent, with a smile that could light up any room. We have so much in common and share the same values and interests. I feel incredibly lucky to have him in my life. Adam and I have always been there for each other, through the good times and the bad. We've supported each other through work stress, family problems, and health issues. Our relationship is based on trust, respect, and communication. I feel comfortable telling him anything and everything, and he's always there to listen and offer support. We've even talked about our future together and how we see ourselves growing old together. But, despite all of this, I have a secret. One that I'm not proud of and one that I can't seem to shake. I've been cheating on Adam, and I don't know how to stop. It's tearing me apart inside, knowing that I'm betraying the person I love more than anything in the world. I'm in a constant state of guilt and shame, and I don't know how much longer I can keep it up. It all started innocently enough. I was out with some old friends from high school, catching up and having a few drinks. We were having a great time, and I was feeling more carefree than I had in a long time. That's when I saw him, my ex-boyfriend from college. We had dated for a few months, but it never really went anywhere. He was still just as charming and attractive as I remembered, and I found myself drawn to him. We started talking, and before I knew it, we were kissing. I knew I shouldn't be doing it, that it was wrong, but in that moment, it felt like the right thing to do. Afterwards, I felt terrible. I couldn't believe that I had cheated on Adam. He didn't deserve this kind of treatment. I tried to tell myself that it was just a mistake, that it wouldn't happen again, but deep down, I knew that wasn't true. I couldn't stop thinking about my ex and the way I felt when we were together. It was like a rush, a high that I couldn't resist. I didn't tell Adam what happened. I couldn't bear the thought of hurting him, of losing him. Instead, I buried my guilt deep down and tried to act like everything was normal. But inside, I was torn apart, knowing that I was living a lie. The guilt of what I had done was eating away at me, and it was getting harder and harder to keep it a secret from Adam. Every time I looked at him, I felt like a fraud. He was so kind and caring, and he didn't deserve to be lied to. I tried to act normal around Adam, but I was constantly on edge, worried that he would find out. I had to be careful not to slip up, to cover my tracks and keep my lies straight. I started staying late at work, going out with friends, doing anything to create an alibi for my infidelity. But it was exhausting, and the stress was taking its toll on me. I couldn't sleep at night, and when I did, I had terrible nightmares about Adam finding out. I would wake up in a cold sweat, my heart pounding in my chest. It was like a never-ending cycle of guilt and fear, and I didn't know how much longer I could keep it up. To make matters worse, I started to distance myself from Adam. I couldn't bear the thought of getting too close to him, of letting him see the real me. It was like I was living a double life, and the weight of the lies was crushing me. I knew that what I was doing was wrong, but I couldn't seem to stop. I was addicted to the thrill of cheating, to the rush of being with someone else. It was like a drug, and I didn't know how to quit. But deep down, I knew that I had to come clean, that I couldn't keep living like this. The question was, would Adam ever be able to forgive me? It wasn't long before my first slip-up turned into a pattern. I started seeking out situations where I could cheat, whether it was going out with old flames or meeting strangers online. I knew what I was doing was wrong, but I couldn't stop myself. It was like a compulsion, a need that I couldn't ignore. The more I cheated, the more I craved it. The thrill of being with someone new, the rush of excitement and danger, it was addictive. I knew it was destroying my relationship with Adam, but I couldn't seem to help myself. I tried to stop, I really did. I told myself that I would never cheat again, that I would be faithful to Adam. But every time I tried, something would trigger me, a flirtatious conversation, a suggestive look, and I would be back at it again. The guilt was eating away at me, and I felt like I was losing control. I knew that I was hurting Adam, and I hated myself for it. But at the same time, I couldn't seem to stop. I tried going to therapy, talking to friends, anything to help me break the pattern. But nothing seemed to work. It was like a part of me was broken, irreparably damaged. And I was terrified that it was going to cost me everything, my relationship, my happiness, my sense of self. I didn't know how to fix myself, how to break the addiction that was destroying my life. All I knew was that I was trapped, caught in a cycle of lies and deceit that I couldn't seem to escape. The emotional fallout from my cheating was starting to take its toll on me. I was becoming more and more anxious, and the constant lying was weighing heavily on my conscience. I felt like a terrible person, like I didn't deserve happiness or love. Every time I looked at Adam, I saw the hurt and disappointment in his eyes, and it broke my heart. I wanted to tell him everything, to come clean and beg for forgiveness. But I was terrified of what would happen if I did. Would he leave me? Would he hate me? The thought of losing him was too much to bear. The guilt was eating away at me, and I was starting to spiral into a deep depression. I couldn't sleep, I couldn't eat, and I couldn't concentrate on anything. All I could think about was what I had done and the pain I was causing. I started avoiding Adam, too ashamed to face him. I knew that he deserved better than me, and that I was a horrible girlfriend. But at the same time, I didn't want to let him go. I loved him more than anything in the world, and I couldn't bear the thought of losing him. The more I thought about my infidelity, the worse my mental state became. I was consumed by guilt and shame, and I didn't know how to move forward. I was trapped in a cycle of self-hatred and despair, and it was slowly killing me. I knew that I had to do something, that I couldn't keep living like this. But I didn't know where to turn, or who to talk to. All I knew was that I needed help, before it was too late. I knew that I couldn't keep living with the guilt and the lies. I knew that I had to tell Adam the truth, no matter what the consequences. It was the hardest thing I had ever done, but I knew that it was the right thing. One evening, after a long and difficult day, I sat down with Adam and told him everything. I told him about my infidelity, about the lies and the cover-ups, and about the pain and the guilt that I had been carrying with me. I was shaking and crying as I spoke, but I felt a weight lifting off my shoulders. Adam was silent for a long time, just staring at me with a mix of shock and sadness. I could see the hurt in his eyes, and I knew that I had broken his heart. I couldn't blame him for being angry and upset. I had betrayed him in the worst possible way. But to my surprise, he didn't shout or scream. He just looked at me with a quiet sadness, and said that he needed some time to think. I was terrified of losing him, but I knew that I had to respect his decision. I had caused him so much pain, and I couldn't force him to forgive me. Over the next few days, I was a wreck. I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep, and I couldn't focus on anything except Adam. I didn't know what was going to happen, and the uncertainty was driving me insane. But then, one evening, Adam came to me and told me that he had thought long and hard about our relationship. He said that he still loved me, and that he wanted to try to work things out. He said that he understood how difficult it must have been for me to come clean, and that he appreciated my honesty. I was overjoyed, but at the same time, I knew that it was going to take a lot of work to repair the damage that I had done. We started going to couples therapy, and I started seeing a therapist on my own to deal with my issues of infidelity and addiction. It wasn't easy, but we were committed to making it work. We talked openly and honestly about our feelings, and we worked on rebuilding the trust that I had destroyed. It was a long and difficult road, but we came out on the other side stronger and were more in love than ever before. However, despite my best efforts to stay faithful to Adam, the temptation to cheat returned. It was a constant struggle, one that I battled with every day. At first, I thought that it was just a passing phase, a residual effect of my previous infidelity. But as time went on, the feelings grew stronger, and I found myself slipping back into old habits. The internal conflict I faced was intense. On one hand, I loved Adam and I knew that I didn't want to hurt him again. But on the other hand, the thrill of the chase and the excitement of being with someone new was almost too much to resist. I found myself making excuses for my behavior, justifying it to myself by saying that I wasn't hurting anyone, or that it was just a harmless fling. But deep down, I knew that it was wrong. The guilt was overwhelming and I felt like I was living a double life. I was constantly lying to Adam, telling him that I was working late or going out with friends, when in reality I was meeting up with someone else. But eventually, I knew that I had to make a choice. I had to decide whether I was going to continue down this path or if I was going to try to change. In the end, I chose to stay with Adam and use my ex to satisfy the urge that I have to cheat. I have come to the conclusion that I simply can't stop cheating on my boyfriend. Although I still love him and care for him deeply, I have found that I need to enjoy other people in order to be truly happy. I'm getting better with my excuses. It is a difficult situation, but I have to make it work. Adam thinks my cheating is in the past and he wants to marry me. I love my boyfriend, but I can't stop cheating.